Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another Starcraft Remastered Broodwar cast, as once again we have a very interesting engagement here from the South Korean ladder 2024, and once again you've guessed it, it's a game with Flash Wells here onto this channel. So we have spawned here in at the 12 o'clock position in the brown. It is Flash with his AK, with his barcode, and he's fighting against a strong Protoss player here, also with a barcode, hiding his identity. Sadly, I don't know who this is. Perhaps you guys know who this Protoss is, with a very high APM early on. So it's a Suri spawning location map, beautiful map with sand on the ground. So very rare sight onto this channel. And yeah, of course, just like in the previous replays, you're going to check out their build orders. But really normal stuff here for the Protoss pylon and supply depot here for Flash versus the opponent. So let's just see if Flash is going to prepare once again a surprise attack versus the Protoss. Is he perhaps going to try Goliath? We're about to find out what exactly his plans are. Maybe some harassment with some dropships. Maybe he's going to try mass marines. We're going to find out, or some of his timing pushes with the tanks, just like he has shown in previous replays. After perhaps doing his calculations, he has come out with a very good timing push at around the 10-minute mark versus the Protosses, with the tanks, with the SCVs and with the vultures, inflicting great damage towards the Protosses and even winning games. So let's just see what the answer from this Protoss is going to be. Just like the Protoss, they have also nicely adapted towards the Terrans with actually massive shuttles gameplay, dropping the zealots straight onto the tanks and also using psionic storms from the High Templars. But yeah, let's just see how the game is going to unfold. Pretty normal stuff. Gateway into the cybernetics core. So we have, of course, the production tab here in the upper left part, just in case I'm missing something. And yeah, Flash moving out with his scouting SCV. No scouting yet here for the Protoss. So yeah, Flash really wants to know where exactly his opponent is hiding. Also, his brown color is actually helping him out here a little bit onto this map. Very, very hard to see the units onto the map unless the enemy changes the color from the opponent. So yeah, in comes the SCV. Nicely getting microed. Sees, of course, the gateway. I believe he also might have seen the cybernetic score. He's going to stay here as much as he can just to see when exactly the upgrade is going to start. And at the same time, he's also going for a expansion here. So quite a nice greedy gameplay. So expansion before the factory. And there we have his gas. And so Flash investing into a more macro-orientated game than a late games, perhaps. The Protoss can punish this with some Dragoons, with some range. Yeah, Flash really nicely microing those SCV, actually pulling an SCV before the probe arriving here, so knowing, of course, the timing from the rival. So yeah, very good stuff here by him. With a Marine here being out, I believe this will be held. And the bunker is also getting produced here by Flash, as the Protoss is also going for a expansion of his own, with the first Dragoon also moving out here for him. So pretty nice stuff. Slowly but steadily we're closing towards the 5-minute mark. The Protoss has, of course, started the upgrade for the ranged Dragoons, and very soon I believe he's going to try to inflict damage towards the bunker, as Flash has started now his factory. So he might go for some tanks. This ledge right here would be perfect for some sieged up tanks, and the Dragoons are still scouting the map here more and more for the Protoss, as we see another building here for the Protoss robotics facility base. So we also might see him go for some shuttle gameplay with some reavers. The main is not really that well defended, so the Protoss can, of course, try to attack it with a reaver drop, as Flash is going into his second factory. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen here. Worker wise, Flash having more workers than his opponent, but I'm pretty sure that the Protoss is going to catch up, as his expansion is now also finished. And only one Dragoon here out for the Protoss, the other one staying at home. So I guess the Protoss thinks that very soon some vultures will move out here from Flash, as he's also going for an armory and for another Marine, interesting enough. So he has 2 Marines into the bunker, going for another Marine here. Let's check his main once again. There's the factory and a engineering bay for some upgrades are also getting produced here by Flash with a supply depot. So pretty nice stuff. Of course, he's trying to spread the buildings as much as he can, just to have as much vision. But hold on, actually the Protoss bringing all of his Dragoons now forward. One is already taking some damage, but the upgrade has finished. for the range, as now Flash has to bring in some SCVs to repair the bunkers. Third SCV is being brought, so pretty good stuff here by Flash, nicely repairing the bunker. This is going to cost him a little bit of minerals, but that's pretty much okay. This is actually the standard Protoss versus the Terran build order, and another Dragoon is moving forward, but we do have siege tank ability getting done here by Flash, as also one tank already taking quite some damage, so Flash needs to be careful. He might have to micro the siege tank back in order to give him protection against those Dragoons, and actually the Protoss is pretty much committing here for dealing more damage, but also taking damage out of the 3 Marines into the bunkers. And weapons 1 is getting produced here by Flash, and even the range for the Goliath, so an interesting build order here, interesting upgrade here for Flash. Perhaps Flash is expecting an attack by shuttles, so I believe this is why he's going for those Goliaths. Either that, or he's going to scan the area for some observers, as yeah, there comes the observer here for the Protoss, moving nicely forward against Flash. And of course Flash with a tank, with a bunker in the front, should be fine here, as now slowly but steadily we're closing towards the 10-minute mark. So yeah, in comes the observers, the Goliaths are online here. Flash might try to scan this area. He has a turret almost getting done. Actually, he has no scan available, so the observer is going to see everything here for the Protoss. And yeah, nice scouting here by the Protoss indeed. As let's just check his main once again. He's only at 2 gateways. There is his shuttle, but no Reaver yet for him. The Reaver is actually only getting produced. We have shuttle speed getting done by him, as there is also an expansion here into this location. So Flash having the engineering bay up, he wants to have as much vision as possible, as the shuttle is going to be really good here for the Protoss, perhaps into dealing more damage towards the mineral line here from Flash. Let's just see, there's the shuttle, and speed is about to get finished, halfway being done. The Reaver is also almost ready to go, as more and more gateways are actually getting produced here by the Protoss. So 2 Zealots are getting picked up. The Reaver is also going to get picked up very soon, and I believe the attack is going to happen not here. This is really well defended. However, the main is not that well defended, even though there is a turret here. There are 2 Goliaths. So yeah, it's looking pretty good as a defense here for Flash, even 2 Goliaths here. So if they combine their strengths, they will of course be able to take out the shuttle. So in comes the slow push out here by Flash, but at the same time it's very important to watch this shuttle. So speed has not been done yet, even though the Protoss is deciding to move here forward, already taking some damage. So those Goliaths really good for Flash, even picking a great spot for them. So no chance here for the Protoss to attack. This is also very well defended, with 2 tanks on the low ground and the turrets. So perhaps the Protoss is going to wait for his shuttle speed to finish. Those Dragoons also not really getting forward. But yeah, let's not forget that the Protoss has now 3 bases. He's going to have many more workers than his opponent. But yeah, Flash with a very good defense here, and now finally even having some vultures moving out for him. So I believe it's not going to be a timing push. Flash looking to be more defensive, as he's placing some lines here in the middle of the map, but there is of course an observer. Hold on, actually some damage is being taken by the Dragoons. Now even the Reaver has to be brought forward, so great shots by the Reaver. Good connection here for the Protoss, and more gateways are actually getting produced here by the Protoss, as more vultures are moving out here for Flash. So yeah, like I told you, we're closing towards the 10-minute mark. A very interesting game we have here. Sadly for the Protoss, his harassment with the shuttle isn't really paying out, so it's not really dealing any damage. And of course it would be a suicide to move here forward against so many tanks by Flash, so he might think about going into an arbiter gameplay. It would be very interesting. He might also transition into some carriers if it's not too late for him. Let's see exactly what his options are going to be. First he's going for speed for those Zealots, much needed upgrade of course if you're facing the tanks and the vultures. And at the same time Flash is taking his expansion right here, as he's slowly but steadily regrouping his units, moving forward, having more defenses at home, more turrets. I believe he's looking very good here. And yeah, the Protoss at the same time with a good presence here into the middle of the map, slowly but steadily moving here forward, of course by the observer, much needed observer to see the mines on the ground. from Flash, as Flash is now going to, of course, transition into defending the newly established base into this location. I believe this is going to be the attack point from the Protoss here as well. And yeah, one Vulture already taken by some damage, but the Protoss are really impatient here. He needs to be careful as he's nicely sniping drone, mine after mine here. So good stuff. I'm in the meantime Flash pretty much bypassing this, but there's so many drones out here for the Protoss. He has so much vision, and he will be very likely ready to intercept. However, all of those Dragoons are pretty much left here outside, so they might even get surrounded by the Vultures and by the tanks. So quite a tricky situation here for the Protoss. Just a couple of Dragoons here. We're very far out, so Flash is slowly moving out. He saw the group of Dragoons here, and he's pretty much throwing everything here. So a little bit of mistake here by the Protoss, now having to fight for his life. He's nicely kiting those Dragoons back and forward, sniping one Vulture after the other, but at the same time he's losing the Dragoons. The Dragoons will step into those mines, mass splash damage. Flash also taking some damage, but I believe in the end it was pretty much worthy. So quite a mistake here by the Protoss, losing those Dragoons. No cover for them, no Zealots, as another group of Dragoons is getting sent out here for the Protoss. So he needs to be careful. Of course, the Protoss is showing his presence, just to not allow the move out here for the Terran, but in the end getting punished here by Flash. One weapons upgrade here for him. Let's just check the Protoss 0-0 as the game continues here, as the Protoss is also making another expansion here, and you can see the production has pretty much increased for both players. We now have high temper storms for the Protoss, so quite a deadly unit against all of those tanks if they are clumped up together. And of course with the shuttles, very deadly. Hold on, thought this was a shuttle, but no, it's just a Dragoon with an observer scouting here the map. So still anyone's game. We have actually 3 shuttles already. Very nice stuff here for the Protoss, as he's gaining more and more of a supply advantage. But where exactly, or if he's going to attack, we're about to find out where exactly his attacking spot is going to be, as he's perhaps very likely going to try to regroup his units. Once again, those Dragoons pretty much exposed. Flash might try once again to surround them. Let's see if this is exactly what's going to happen, but we see a nice attack, or a preparation of an attack here. I believe it's some high Templars with some Zealots. Yes, that's exactly what he's having here, and I believe this spot will be attacked very soon. So Flash having 2 turrets here, he needs to be careful. In comes the drop attempt by the Protoss. The tanks are immediately attacking the Zealots, but the real damage dealers will of course be the high Templars with the storms, and massive storms here versus Flash, as one SCV after the other is getting sniped. And even the tanks are now dealing splash damage towards their own units. So Flash dropping a little bit into more and more are actually getting killed. So I believe there has been a drop into another spot. So yeah, there is indeed more and more of a Psionic Storm attack here versus the opponent. So Flash dropping to 51 workers. Very hard to spot those shuttles. I believe he tried only a drop here, but the second shuttle moving actually here. So catching Flash off guard, catching even me off guard, as 10 more workers have been dropped here for Flash. And in the meantime, in the middle of the map, we do actually see the movement out now here by Flash. So I believe Flash is going to counter or try to establish dominance into the middle of the map. But in comes once again the shuttle gameplay with the Zealots. Notice that there are no mines on the ground here for Flash, but now the great damage dealers are once again present, the high Templars. But we do have the high ground here for Flash, as he's pushing more and more forward with his tanks, with his Vultures. And yeah, more and more of the units from Flash are getting transferred. So the SCVs are getting transferred into a newly established base here for Flash. It was a nice economic damage here from the Protoss, a very good and successful attack with those shuttles, with the storms onto his enemy. So now Flash not deciding to move out, he's going to defend his expansion right here. Yeah, having good dominance into the middle of the map, of course, leaving the tanks on the high ground. Really important to have them up there, as the Protoss just keeps on sending observer after the observer. So let's have a look at the weapons upgrade. Only 1 weapons. Hold on, we actually see yet another move out. This could be 4 shuttles now, and with Zealots and with high Templars, he might try to drop them straight here onto those mines. So that would be quite deadly. Let's see if the Protoss is going to commit. The high ground is of course in control of Flash. There is a nice observer here for the Protoss, as at the same time the Protoss is expanding here. So no decision by him to drop the units yet. I believe he's going to try to go straight for the newly established base, but Flash is nicely scanning this area, moving his units. There are the shuttles already taking quite some damage, so he needs to be careful. shuttle gameplay. Great storms here have been casted left and right, and Flash is taking quite some damage, so the High Templars are doing great amounts of splash damage here. Still the Terran has to, of course, hold his ground, and the economy hasn't been touched, so that's really important here for Flash, remaining with those SCVs, and actually the Protoss has to push back. So the high ground once again was in control here from Flash. It was a pretty good drop, nice splash damage, but in the end not that much is being lost here by Flash, as he's now regrouping into the middle of the map. It looks like he's going to pretty much commit here forward. Let's check his upgrades really quick. 2 to 3 upgrades, very strong upgrades here for Flash, pretty much outnumbering the enemy, but we have some great storm counters here from the Protoss, as one tank after the other is getting snapped here. So very good stuff, but is it going to be enough, as more and more is getting lost here for the Protoss? So he now has to massively produce units. We even have a science facility here into the air. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen as Flash is pushing forward towards the newly established bases here from the opponent. He might split his troops. He's looking really strong. There's a nice High Templar storm here straight onto the ramp, pretty much killing every tank there. Yeah, Flash of course tries to out micro this, but it's very hard with the siege tanks, as they're really slow. And let's see what's going to happen. The cannon is about to fall. The siege tanks are sieging up, as of course a split is going to happen, and Flash is going to attack on 2 different fronts now very soon. Only leaving 2 tanks here. I believe it's going to be enough to take out the expansion, as reinforcements are arriving in form of vultures. So this expansion looking pretty much going to drop very soon. This just shows how good tanks are with those upgrades. 3 to 2 upgrades, very important to have them. And a completely missed High Templar storm. A better second storm here for the Protoss. But Flash is pushing forward here with some gravity fields onto those tanks. Let's see, is there going to be a tank counter here by the Protoss? Well, no, he's just pretty much expanding all over the map, but his main production buildings now will be pretty much under attack. So those gateways will of course be really important. He's trying a counter with some zealots, just zealots here for him. This will of course not stop the push here forward. And now Flash threatening the main production buildings from the Protoss. So the Protoss pretty much has to rebuild somewhere else, but is it going to be enough for him? As more and more gateways will be sniped, and more High Templars will be sniped. We do have a Dark Templar, but we do have of course the science vessel into the air, and Flash just keeps on pushing forward. And of course this has to be the wee for the Protoss. He did try some sniping here, but in the end he gave up. So Flash with a patient game this time, not a timing push, securing the high ground, and with that he secured the expansions. Great push by the Protoss with the shuttles, with the High Templar storms, dealing good amounts of damage. I believe the Protoss could have just stayed back and just kept on doing this strategy, just kept on expanding, but he was a little bit impatient. He did lose some units here, the Dragoons. And yeah, those tanks with those upgrades, very strong here for Flash, securing him the game. Let's just check the stats very quick. A very good game here by both players. But in the end, I believe, like I told you, impatient gameplay here by the Protoss. He could have harassed or kept on harassing Flash and just kept on expanding all over the map. Of course, it would have been a much longer game, but in the end, he might have had the advantage in the end. But this time Flash, with, let's not forget that he had 3 to 2 to 3 upgrades for the tanks, and the Protoss only having 1 weapons upgrade. So in the end, of course, the tanks much stronger, and the vultures of course, and the Goliaths. So yeah, great game by both players. I hope you guys once again enjoyed. This is Tommy signing out.